Hello and welcome to Hope Stories with Lennox Barnett Ministries. I'm your host, Ashley McNary, and I'm excited to be sharing with you the ministry that Lennox and his team are doing all over the world. This month, we have something special for you. Lennox and his team are on the ground in Jamaica, and they have amazing stories to share with you all.
Welcome to Jamaica. We are here at my birthplace, and I'm so glad that you chose to tune in. We've got a lot coming your way, lots of stories and lots of really cool people that we got to run into over the history and story of my life. So many of you made this possible for us to share hope through story and song all over the world, and we're gratefully blessed to have you as partners in this journey. Thank you, and stay tuned. So this is home for me, right here. This is where I grew up. It's where I was born and raised, right in this lot of land. Actually, my grandmother, she moved here, and when she moved here to this lot of land, she wanted to make sure she had enough space that any one of her children, if they would need, could have a spot that they could build on and be right next to her, just as long as they needed it. And so she bought this place, moved in, and my mom, who was kind of down on her luck financially at that time, she had the three of us boys, joined or took her up on the offer and moved right next to her. This blue house was hers right here. And then all of a sudden, my mom was pregnant with me, went to the hospital on bed rest, and then they found out that she had the measles, and I was born with, my eye condition. And my grandma decided that she would pray and ask, for healing. So she would have regularly Saturday night prayer meetings. And as she had those meetings and it grew, people came and they came and they came, so much so that her little living room just could not house them all. And so the idea came up, what if we launched, the New Testament church on your lot of land? And she said, absolutely yes. So they started the New Testament Church of God right here. And that church grew and grew from underneath a tent to 4, walls and a roof. And awesome things happened here. Lots of lives were transformed, and people, got to meet Jesus for the first time. But in that same token, for me, I got to hear a lot of, good church music and meet a lot of good church people who became like family to me right here. To my left is my house where I grew up with my mom. And straight behind me is my grandma's house where she lived as well. So we were really close together. As you can see, the church itself is probably about 85 to 90% of it is underneath the ground. This area suffers from what they call soil erosion, where the waters from the mountains after the heavy rains would come down and soak the soil around it. And the soil would just kind of give way from beneath because of the waterway. And, we have buildings that are like this now. But it's still home. And this place just holds a very special piece of my heart, because I was born and raised right here. And I met Jesus right here. I was 3 years old. This little hole right here is a little watering hole. Actually, it was called 3 stones, and in Jamaica they call it tree stone or tree stone. which simply means just 3 stones. And it was this big, beautiful pond area. There's a waterfall that came down, and this is where we all swam. This river is actually in my backyard, where I grew up, right here in Kintyre, through the Hope River. And my grandma, my mom, most of our relatives would wash clothes, do our laundry right here. One day, my grandma had me with her, also with my brother as well, and my brother was supposed to kind of be her eyes and ears as she was washing our clothes, and you know, he would be just watching over me on a little blanket sitting in the gravel. My grandma turned around after not hearing anything from me and asked, "Where is Lennox? Where's the baby?" And out of nowhere, frantically, my brother is searching and searching like crazy. Then my grandma started calling me, "Lennox, Lennox, where are you?" And my grandma tells a story just like this. She says, out of nowhere, she heard, "Grandma, a twim me a twim, a twim me a twim, grandma," which means, I'm swimming, grandma. Now you gotta put this into perspective. Here's the reality. I was 3 years old and I was totally blind. But I decided I was gonna jump in with both feet and make a big splash, and I was gonna swim. My grandma told me the morning after my mom passed away these words that I will never forget. She says, "God will never teach you to swim just to let you drown." And you know, so many times in life, we might feel like we are blocked by our inability to do something because of our circumstances or the things that we don't have or the opportunities that are not coming our way, when all we need to do is just jump on in. Because there is a God who says this in Habakkuk chapter 1, verses 5. He says, "Watch and wait. Be utterly amazed for the things I'm about to do in your lifetime. If I were to tell you these things, you would not believe me." The really cool thing is, here I am. I'm alive. I made it through. And I'm still learning how to continue to swim. God has not let me drown yet. No, because I couldn't see that well. But I was here when they painted it.
I remember when you told me the story about your eyes.
Yes.
When you said, what again? You told me that before you get the glasses.
Yeah. So I was born with glaucoma, and I was born totally blind. And God, yeah.
Not that I'm cutting you or anything.
No, you're right. But I was.
Return?
And then God just slowly started, you know, like help to restore my eyesight. And so it was a beautiful miracle in itself. That's part of my story. Because a lot of times people don't believe, they think that, well, that was then. Jesus, God, he did miracles then. He don't do miracles now, but he does. I'm a product of that. Even how I got to the United States, that was a miracle in itself. You know, 2 weeks before I left for the United States, I never knew I was going to be there. It happened in a matter of hours, you know? So it's a miracle. And the same God who did that for me can do for anybody else. I believe it. So this is the place, the Salvation Army School for the Blind, where it all began, where my journey of life transformation and hope, and even the sense of independence as a blind young boy became a reality. I remember the very first day my mom dropped me off here. It was crazy. I remember the song that was playing on the radio, and it was in 1985. And of course, the song was Lady in Red. Can't believe it as I look back and try to remember. That day was such a sad day. As my mom left, I screamed and kicked and fought, thinking I would never ever see her again. And thinking, what a mom, or what kind of a mom would just leave their kid. But man, was that the best thing for me ever. Because I learned so much here. I finally was able to go to a school where I could actually learn. I learned how to read Braille, and I learned how to actually walk and not run into things all the time. I learned how to butter bread. And I learned how to put my shirt on the right way. Isn't that amazing? It all happened here. So much memory, So many just thoughts refill and flood my mind from the experiences and the joys that I experienced here. Right behind me is the assembly hall, right in there, those white windows. That's where I learned to play the piano for the first time. Got caught playing it, got in trouble, but then was allowed to play every single Sunday I was here. Also, that's where I started singing too, and got to start a little band, not a band, but a little vocal group called the Inside Singers, which simply means, hey, we can't see much on the outside, but on the inside, we see clearly that there is a God who loves us and who knows us by name. This has been a great place, and it's a great part of my story. If it wasn't for this very institution that became home to me, especially after my mom died, I wouldn't be in the United States. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, because it was right here where I met that couple, Dave and Julie Bartell, who said yes to the call on their lives by the Holy Spirit and brought me back to the United States of America. What a place. What a memory. I'm grateful.
Our faith is being sure of what we hope for, being certain of the things we cannot see, because you are our God who goes before us, providing for us whenever we need. You are faithful, Lord, and your word holds true. You can be trusted in all you do. Your unfailing love surrounds my heart, and my only hope is you. Though I'm walking through the valley, Lord, I will not fear. Though my circumstance around me, I know you are near. In the middle of life's battles, you're my sword and shield. You are fighting for me whenever I'm weak, 'cause you are faithful, Lord, and your word holds true. You can be trusted in all you do. Your unfailing love surrounds my heart, and my only hope is you. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassion, they fail not.
This is Sophie's place, a really beautiful little community for orphans with special needs. I'm just overwhelmed with just the care and love and devotion the staff have here for the kids that we got to encounter and their different needs that are very, very obvious. God's just doing an incredible job here. The need for diapers and even Ensure is huge, and but these staff here just kind of make do with what they have and just do a great job pouring into the lives of these kids. You know, Jesus said this. He says, whatever you do for the least of these, my children, you do for me. And it's been so cool to watch the staff here take care of these kids, love on them. I mean, the place is clean, smells great. The kids are kept up and alert, and they stimulate them with activities. And they even have a little, you know, like sensory garden in the back where they could be out and have some textile experiences and touch flowers and be by the river and just be outside. Awesome place. Awesome mission and ministry here up in Gordon Town Road. Love this place and so grateful that I got a chance to share here with the kids and also get to meet the staff and encourage them with the wonderful job that they're doing. So we're here at the Jamaica National Children's Home, and we're really excited for this really cool opportunity to come in and share my story with the kids tonight. We're gonna share the story of hope and get to meet and know the kids and hand out some Bibles. It's gonna be a great night, really anticipating an awesome experience with these kids. So come on in with us and check it out. My name is Lennox Barnett, and I live in Chicago. Anybody ever heard of Chicago? Yeah, it's really cold there right now. But I live in Chicago. But guess what? I was born and raised right around in this area. I grew up in Kintyre. Who's ever heard of Kintyre? Yeah. I grew up there. And so I'm going to tell you by the end of my story, you're going to understand why I'm living in America and what I get to do. I'm really glad to be here today, and here is why. Because I have a story to tell you. I am a living product of that gift through what Jesus did on the cross, and that is why I am here today. I want to share with you my story. And I want to tell you this. Before I share with you my story, I want to say this. You've probably had many people come up here and share with you things about the Lord. And most of you have gone to church and Sunday school, or maybe you've heard it already in school, and you will turn your ears and just turn them off because you already heard it all, right? Well, today, the reason why I'm here is not to tell you another Bible story or to tell you another reason why God loves you, but to tell you my own story, because guess what? I was one of you. Yes. I walked the very same shoes you walk in. I lived the exact same kind of a life you lived, and I had the very same questions you have. That is why I'm here. And my point for you today is this. God has got you here because He's got you in a safe place. And you are not limited. Listen, your dreams are not limited because of your situation. Whatever you dream to be, there's a God who says, if you think it's impossible, He says through Him, all things are possible. I want to challenge you today because I believe that God is writing a story. Listen, He's got a plan so great that someday you're going to look back on that this day and you're going to go, Lennox was right. I am somebody. God does love me. God does have a plan. God can take what I think is broken and he can make it into something beautiful. Because listen, boys and girls, listen. Shh. Not only could I drive a car, but I have a family. I have a purpose. I have a job. I have a home. I have people who love me. I contribute to society every single day. And every single one of you in this room, you have the same potential to do that and so much more. Not because, listen to me, not because you live in a children's home doesn't mean you can't. Not because you live in a children's home doesn't mean you are less than. Let me tell you this, the staff here, the house mothers and the people who take care of you, they believe that you can be whatever you set your mind to. They believe that you can be, listen, whoever God wants you to be. But you have to believe that for yourself. And you have to believe that whatever your deepest dreams and desires are for life, that God is already working it out. Thanks so much for tuning in to Hope Stories. We had a wonderful time here on our little adventure away to Jamaica, the land where I grew up, and you got to see not only the culture, but the ministry that we get to do down here and some parts of my story and how it all began. Don't hesitate to follow us on our social media handles, Facebook and Instagram, Lennox Barnett Ministries. So grateful for your partnership, so grateful for your friendship, so grateful for your prayers. Thanks for tuning in. Hi friends and family, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching us and liking us on Facebook and Instagram and following closely with this journey that we've been on for the last 3 years or so. You see, about 25 years ago, a young couple from Rockford led about 18 college-age students to Kingston, Jamaica on a 2-month mission trip where they got to spend some time at different orphanages and especially where I came out of. And the couple met me and made a decision to follow the heart of God. And miraculously, here I am today. My life was forever changed. And so because of that, I have this great desire to go back and give back to those same kids the same help and hope that somebody gave to me. Now, the truth is, we can't bring them all back to the States. And not all of you wants to go on long-term or short-term missions. But you can send us, you can send me. See, over the last couple of years, we've been able to minister and reach over 500 orphans. Also, with that, we've been able to give over 500 plus Bibles individually to each of these kids, delivering a message of hope, reminding them that God knows their name. Not only have we been able to do that, but we've been able to create sustainability with different needs that are in some of these orphanages, like providing mattresses, providing diapers, providing personal items like toiletries and stuff like that, clothes and shoes for kids. The need is great. The opportunity is huge. But we here at Lennox Barnett Ministries, we can't do it without you. So I'm asking you, would you consider being partners with us? Seriously consider. We have an opportunity for you. If you cannot go, then you can send us. And we have a I Donate button on our website at lennoxbarnettministries.org. Would you go there and would you click that button? Any amount is more than welcomed and appreciated because it counts and it makes a difference. You can be a monthly donor, which is awesome that we can count on that. Or you can give a one-time gift of any amount. And so I want to ask you, would you help me help those who are just like me in countries all over the world, poverty-stricken, down on their luck, without a mother or a father, looking for hope? Help me share that same hope. Go to our website, would you? And would you click on that I Donate button and help us make a difference? Thank you so much in advance for your thoughts and so much for your love and your support on this beautiful journey. God bless you.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed hearing all about Lennox Barnett Ministries and what their team does on the ground. If you'd like to be a part of this mission and the calling that God has placed on Lennox's life, you can join us by becoming a monthly donor or by donating with a one-time gift to help expand and fund the ministry. You can do that by mailing a check to 111 Lamplighter Loop, Poplar Grove, Illinois 61065, or by visiting our website, lennoxbarnettministries.org/donate. We would love to have you join in with us on making this incredible journey possible. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Make sure to follow LBM on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date on all of the amazing things that are happening. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless.